this show do not reflect the views and opinions of our advertisers and management of Pacific Telestations Incorporated. You're watching Buzz with Jess Lujan.
Good evening, Guam. I'm Jess Lujan. Welcome to this segment of The Buzz. My in-studio guest tonight is Dave Sablan, the project coordinator for GRRP, and we're going to be talking trash, a whole lot of trash tonight. So, trash talk with you tonight, Dave.
Yes,
how you doing?
Fine, thank you, Jess.
You look jet lagged. You just came back from a party, from a convention. So
big party, yeah, about 50,000 people there. But it was a great experience. This is my second convention, so you know. We had a good delegation from Guam there. The governor was with us. He was our delegation chairman. Yeah. And we submitted all our 9 votes to Governor Romney and his running mate Paul Ryan, Congressman Paul Ryan.
There we go, and we'll find out in the next couple of months what happens.
That's correct.
I have a good feeling about this. But anyway, we're here to talk trash, and there are some realities, regardless whether you like incineration or not. There are realities of trash here in Guam, and you know, we've been hearing about this. We thought that you guys are right there, getting ready to again get the permits. You know, I personally like competition. You know, I like my price of trash to go down, because, and you know, when we look at the necessities of life on a daily basis, my paying for trash probably does not come in the top 5 when it comes to the essentials of life.
That's right. It's not necessarily a priority, so it behooves whoever is providing the service to try to keep the price of that service at a level that, you know, people can afford, in addition to all the other utilities and other services that they have to pay for just to keep their household going every month, you know, with respect to power, water, sewer, and of course, you know, trash pickup service. If we want to keep our island clean, we got to keep it rather low and keep that rate down.
That's right. Let's talk about the realities, the real things that we have to shed out on a daily basis as taxpayers. The new landfill
at Luzon.
In Luzon, yeah. You know, that current landfill there, or that cell there, has a very short life. It's got room to grow basically to other cells, maybe 9 cells, but those as well have limited lives. But not only that, there's a big cost and will be paid by you and I.
That's correct. The cost right now to build only 2 cells, okay, the whole Luzon area is set up to actually accommodate 11 cells. Okay. Each cell, you know, the 2 cells that got built included, they also added in the infrastructure for all of the 11. Sure. So that total cost was $102 million. Okay. And we borrowed money on the bond market for that. And that's technically at this point being paid by the small revenues that are being received for the trash service, trash pickup service, as well as the Section 30 money. Okay. All right. So that's what's paying for it. So when you allocate Section 30 money to that debt service, then that can't come into Guam for the other services that are needed, whether it be in education, healthcare, or other government services. What we need to prepare ourselves for, and this is really what we need to look at as a community, is that those 2 cells that have already been built at $102 million, including the infrastructure for 11 cells, is going to be filled up in probably around 8 years. 8 years. Okay. We've already got 1 year covered. So we started in last September.
So we got 7 to go.
Yeah, we got 7 more years to go, and that's just an estimate. It could fill up in 5 more years or 6 more years, depending on the volume of garbage we generate here. All right, which means that within a few years from now, we got to start planning for the construction of 2 more cells.
2 more cells.
Okay, and you got to go through another permitting process and all of that. Now, how much is that going to cost us? I would estimate somewhere between maybe $40 to $50 million
per cell.
For the 2 cells. For the 2 cells.
Now, let me ask you this: we go 7 years down the line here. We open 2 more cells, so the cost $50–60 million. Would we have retired the cost of the first 2 cells?
No, I think that bond issuance is for about 30 years. So if you use about 8 years of debt, if you paid down about 8 years of debt service, by the time the next 2 cells are open, you've just added another $40 to $50 million of additional debt service. When those 2 cells get filled up again within 8 years, again within 5 to 6 years of that opening, you would then have to start planning again for another 2 cells. So this has not yet been retired. The second 2 cells has not yet been retired. and the next two cells, you know, the cells number 5 and 6.
Yeah.
When you add another 50 million, so you've got 102 million, another 50, and another 50. That's a lot of debt, and it's unsustainable. You know, right now, I mean, how much of debt of Section 30 money are we going to allocate to pay down this debt? And it's all just for, you know, solid waste management.
Well, most especially when we have the buildup that's been downsized, and so Section 30 is probably going to see an increase, but not that much of an increase.
That's right.
As compared to what we're seeing right now. And that's my point, Dave. Is this at some point in time here, and we see price, of course, power or water or gas, and you know, price of fuel or oil basically dictates everything else going up. So
Right.
at some point, as it is right now, there are some people, of course, that do not pay for trash because they definitely put kids and their schooling a priority over power and water.
That's correct.
And as well as trash is very low on their priority. So as a result of having a sanitary landfill, we've created unintended consequences by having a big dump site on the rest of the Guam.
That's correct, and you're absolutely right. It's called price elasticity. It's called prioritization in the household as to where your money, your disposable income, no pun intended, is going to go.
Sure.
So you have to pay for your utilities because you want power to cook your food, to have your air conditioning at night when you go to bed. You got school supplies if you got young children in the household. You know, you got food to buy, and eventually what you're going to come down to is, you know, how much am I willing to pay for, you know, disposal of my garbage, and if the answer is not more than $10 or $15, then you got a problem, because right now it's at $30 and it's going to go up. It's going to go up inevitably, either to pay down the debt service or to actually pay for the collection of that garbage and then taking it to the landfill. And so all of that is going to take some of our money out of the wallet, and we're going to have to make a decision. Either we take that trash and pay or have that trash picked up and pay the fee, or burn it in the backyard, or dump it in the jungle.
And that's what's happening.
And that's what's happening. And so if we really want to protect our environment, we've got to find a better solution. Now, granted, we were forced into this consent decree by the citation from US EPA that we were polluting the Lonfit River in ORDOT with the leachate that's coming out from the ORDOT dump. We've pretty much resolved that. We have now this landfill at Luzon. What we really need to look at, and this is what GRP is proposing here, Jess, is to build a waste-to-energy plant. Okay, incineration, for lack of better terms, it's really a waste-to-energy plant. We burn the trash, produce electricity, and the reason for that is that when you burn the trash, you actually reduce the volume of that trash by 90%. So if you have 10 truckloads going into the incinerator plant or the waste-to-energy plant, you're going to have only 1 truckload of ash coming out, which means that when you take that ash to the landfill, okay, because you have to deposit it somewhere, then you've actually just increased the life of that landfill.
Yes, right.
All right, instead of solid waste going straight to there and then filling up in 8 to 10 years, you've increased it by probably 8 to 9 times more. So if you have a landfill cell that's going to take about 8 years to fill, you multiply that times 9, you got about 70 to 80 years more. And it's all going to be ash. Ash is inert. In other words, it won't harm the environment. It's just like dirt. You know, I mean, we have forest fires across the country.
And ash.
Ash is the byproduct.
Dave, I tell you what, let's talk more about this, incineration, waste to energy, when we come back. Take a quick break.
All right.